All right, it's November 4th, so here we are. Shout out to Dewey, shout out to Howard. You know who you are. So, we're going to start off today with Dick Cheney dead. Wow. So, he was pretty young. I think he was, 84. Kind of young. So, everyone knows Dick Cheney. Everyone knows what he did. Um, I'm not going to sit here and say he's a good person. He was the architect of the War on Terror, and he was heading up the project for a new American Century, PNAC. So everyone knows who this guy is, a straight neocon conservative, yeah, war criminal. So I'm sure the media will try to make it sound like what a great guy. I mean, I don't have anything good to say about Dick Cheney. So he had a long career and he is celebrated among the Warhawks in Washington, and I'm sure George Bush is sad and all this stuff, and oh, what a good person. Yeah, so Dick Cheney is gonna, his legacy is gonna be tainted. I mean, nobody likes this guy. People only liked him during 9/11, and then not really much after that because when he left in 2009, he had a popularity rating of 31%, which isn't really much. But yeah, so Dick Cheney, I don't need to say anything more. War criminal. He was a big reason we invaded all those 7 countries, and we all know where that led us. So, Dick Cheney, you know, burning in hell probably, and that's it. So, the world just got a little better, in my opinion. Not that he was doing anything these past few years, but you know, his evil energy has now left the world, so the world just got a little better. And yeah, Cheney oversaw Desert Storm, U.S. led coalition that liberated Kuwait from Iraqi forces. Okay, liberated. And yeah, we all know what he did for Project for a New American Century. He said we need to have planes fly into the World Trade Center so that we can invade the Middle East. That was before 9/11, 2000, I believe. And yeah, so he was a big reason 9/11 happened. He was a big reason 9/11 was allowed to happen. And he was a big reason for all the endless wars in the Middle East. That was a result of that. That was completely fruitless. The US got nothing out of those wars. We only destabilized the region, gave Israel total hegemony over the region other than Iran. So Dick Cheney, complete traitor, um, America last, Israel first, and so he will not be missed. And the young people are very happy about this, actually. So yeah, it's a new era coming in here. So Dick Cheney dead. So toast. Have a drink tonight. So here's the big story today, because Dick Cheney dying isn't anything. Like he's been dead for a while, right? Voters head to the polls in the first major election of Trump's second term. So we all know what's going on in New York City, the mayoral race, Mamdani Cuomo. Sliwa has no chance. So it'll be interesting. I do expect Mamdani to win and make New York worse. However, Cuomo does have a small chance, and Fox News shows Mamdani with 16 percentage point lead over Cuomo. But remember that a lot of these polls are skewed in a way to make you feel like it's impossible to win. So I do believe Mamdani's winning, and I do believe the polls have him winning, but it's probably not as much of a distance as they're saying. Like they had Mamdani at like 44% and Cuomo at 39. It's probably more like, you know, 42-40, which isn't too much of a difference, but that can swing an election. I mean, just a couple points. So, and there's a lot of elections going on. I mean, Virginia, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, California is doing Prop 50. So today's actually a pretty big day, an election day. Sometimes the midterms aren't anything, like it's not really going to make much of a difference, but some of these will make a major difference. Um, I know the California Prop 50 thing is very big. I think California's gonna, well, we'll see what they say because I've seen both that it's gonna pass, it's not gonna pass. Um, because I don't really know what to believe because these polls are really trustworthy. And New Jersey, the big race, Citarelli has a chance to win, um, even though the polls have him losing. So, but the big one is New York City, Mamdani, Cuomo. I do expect Mamdani to win, and if Cuomo wins, like it'll be a good thing, but nothing's gonna change. Cuomo's literally just if he wins, he's just gonna go sit in his office and probably sexually harass some intern because that's what he likes to do. But he's not going to do anything for the city. Mamdani will make it worse. That's why Cuomo's a better option because at least like nothing will change, even though New York's awful. But that's just the reality of it, and yeah, and especially Cuomo with his history, it's just hard for him to win. But he has a chance. He does have a chance. So if Cuomo wins, it's going to be super close. Like he's going to barely win. But I don't think that's going to happen. Mamdani seems to be very favored. New York City has way too many immigrants there, illegal immigrants who are voting for Mamdani, which means the true people in New York don't have a say in their own election. But they did that to themselves. New York's lost, just like California. So I expect Mamdani to win, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, they said 1 million people at least are gonna leave New York City if Mamdani wins, and those 1 million people aren't um, poverty people. These millions of people that are threatening to leave New York are paying the taxes, and they have money to spend on the economy. And I don't know how Mamdani is gonna provide all these free services when he has no tax revenue. So yeah, we'll see what happens. If Mamdani wins, then I think New York has its best chance in a long time to have a Republican governor. Um, just because New York City would be so trashed that the alternative would be better. But who knows? Maybe New York has to go through this. Maybe New York City has to elect this guy just so that they can feel the pain of communism. Not that it's full blown communism, but you know, people won't be able to afford anything. So it doesn't take long to get people upset about that. So obviously we want Cuomo, but yeah, even if Cuomo somehow wins miraculously, New York's gonna be a shithole. Nothing's gonna change. Cuomo's been in New York forever. Didn't do anything, only made it worse. But Mamdani would make it worse dramatically quicker. So, and everybody knows this. Everyone knows what's going on. This guy's not even a citizen. Like, how is this guy running? What is Bondi doing? So, we'll see what happens. Um, I'll probably have to do a separate video just on the results, probably on all these, because these are all kind of important. So, but this is the one everyone's going to talk about for sure. And then we have Trump administration redirects tariff revenue to fund WIC as shutdown drags on. So isn't it interesting how since the SNAP benefits were being cut off, the media was going absolutely insane, saying this is the end of the world. How can Trump do this? But as soon as Trump does this, nobody talks about it. So, anyway, this was a good idea. I mean, I kind of mentioned this about air traffic control. If we can redirect some of the tariff revenue, the government can stay shut down. We don't need the government open if we can fund these programs differently instead of taxpayer money. So Trump is making so much money on tariffs that he's able to fund some WIC just because of all the money that's coming in. So this probably should be the strategy for most programs because Trump is setting up tariff deals that are just guaranteed money for the United States. So why are we relying on taxpayers for the money? So this could be the beginning of other stuff. Trump might do this with air traffic control. I mean, I hope so because we don't want the government open, but we do need some programs open and working. So this is a good example. If Trump can do this with other programs, then the government can stay shut down and our money doesn't have to be put to waste. So this is interesting. The media won't really talk about this because it looks good for Trump. So yeah, and speaking of this, Schumer voted today to not open the government again. So um, yeah, I don't know what they're doing really because there's not many riots going on. So I don't know why they're not opening the government. Their own base wants them to. The CEOs of a lot of these companies are telling them to. And the Democrats are just looking terrible. Like nobody likes them right now. Um, Trump is literally funding these programs by himself with the tariff revenue that he's making. You know, Trump is making so much money on these tariffs that this can be done on other programs as well. So this is what you call a good businessman, and Trump knows what he's doing, and he has more money to spend here. Um, I don't think we've gotten the numbers yet for last month's tariff revenue, but we've been averaging about over 30 billion a month. Um, so that could definitely fund a lot of these programs. I mean, this was just 450 million. That's really nothing compared to the total revenue we're making monthly. That's like not even 1%. So yeah, the media won't talk about this, but you know, a lot of people will be getting their WIC. I hope the USDA and Doge continues to purge these programs because if they can get rid of everyone who's illegal and taking advantage of the system, it'll save the taxpayers billions of dollars, like unbelievable amount of money just on these programs alone. So we're heading in the right direction, slowly but surely. And speaking of election day, so apparently there's been a lot of bomb threats and just a lot of nonsense going on at some of these polling stations. There's been multiple polling stations throughout the country that has threats and specifically bomb threats. Um, so what's up with that? The political violence energy that's arising in this country needs to settle down. We saw what happened with Charlie Kirk, and we saw the reactions. So we have to be very careful as a country because we just can't be threatening our political opponents. Um, yeah, so this is concerning, and it's just a midterm thing. It usually this stuff happens on presidential elections, and we all saw that with Donald Trump. They literally had to shut down polling places because people were coming to vote for Trump, and they had to like shut it down. They had to make an excuse, and but yeah, there's been actual bomb threats, and yeah, and of course everyone's blaming each other. The right is blaming the left is blaming the right. Some of these are probably just coordinated, George Soros. And yeah, so that's just lovely. But thankfully, nothing's really happened yet. And also, there was a bomb threat on Reagan National Airport. They had to close down the whole airport, which, by the way, they're talking about closing down all airports soon because the government is shut down because the Democrats can't open the government. Um, so we're very close to all airports being shut down. Democrats aren't going to look good, are they, soon? So, yeah, thankfully nothing's really happened yet. I mean, I haven't seen any bombs explode or anything yet, but people are going to vote right now. I mean, the polls are still open, so we'll see what happens. And hopefully this simmers down, and hopefully nothing actually does happen because we all know we're kind of in false flag territory right now with the political tension. A lot of people are very upset with Israel right now, and usually when that happens, Israel does an operation. So just got to be very careful, tread lightly, and but still speak the truth. But like, let's not be planting bombs on polling stations. So here we go. Just some headlines to go over. Schumer blocks it for the 14th time. This guy, what a loser! This guy, Chuck Schumer. All he does is blame Trump for all the problems that he starts. Report half of migrant household gets welfare via U.S. born children. Yeah, yeah. So most illegal immigrants are on some sort of SNAP program or some sort of government assistance program. And that's just unbelievably done. Like, we're done with this. Illegal aliens can't be taking advantage of the system anymore. Um, it's just costing taxpayers too much. And I read something like in Los Angeles, I think one in every three houses is on the SNAP program. Just unbelievable, just ridiculous. It has to end. So that's not a surprise. Over 70% of SNAP benefits are illegal aliens. I mean, what a waste. So, Capitol Police repeatedly used lethal force on protesters. Yeah, we know. We've all seen the videos. We saw those as it happened. I don't know why this is like breaking news. Soros organization document calls on public to cede part of their sovereignty to political elite. Is this real? National Pulse. Okay, I guess it is real. Wow. A document from George Soros' Open Society Foundations suggests a shift in democratic processes advocating for an elite to address social issues. Yeah, so this is just the New World Order on full display. George Soros doesn't hide this. He's literally telling you to give up your sovereignty to him because he knows better and he's smarter than you. What the arrogance on these people are just insane. But George Soros is desperate because Antifa is being investigated. But George Soros is, I mean, he's literally telling you to give up your rights to him. You gotta be retarded to do that. California to decide fate of Prop 50, which would end state's independent redistricting commission. Yeah, so California's gonna have the final say, it looks like, and I think we know which way that's gonna go. Fed cuts rates for second straight meeting. Yeah, this kind of surprising. They probably have a lot of political pressure from even their own party because it's just so unpopular for them not to cut rates. Um, and like I said, Jerome Powell, when he leaves, he is the whoever replaces him is going to cut rates even more, so the economy can really start going. Republicans position to keep House majority in 2026. Target Democrats as socialist new ad. Yeah, the whole country's shifting right. Almost every state is shifting towards Republicans. But that's just a testament of how bad the Democrats are. They can't even connect to their own voters. North Carolina Democrat resigns after arrest on child sex crime charges. So isn't this lovely? A North Carolina Democrat resigns because he got arrested for child sex crime. What a lovely person. What a lovely party. Trump on Venezuela. Maduro's days are numbered, but there will be no war. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we all know about the richness Venezuela has in regards to rare earth and stuff like that, and that's the reason we're going over there. It's not really about drugs, although they keep sending those drug boats, and they're not really learning the lesson. Um, I mean, I don't think we should destroy those boats. I think we should arrest them as soon as they land here. But what can you do on that? We'll see what happens with Maduro because Trump wants him gone, but he's also saying no regime change, so they kind of have to make a decision. Blah blah blah. Watchdog urges Trump administration to examine government contracts with Microsoft amid Arctic frost probe. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need a watchdog to tell him that. I think Trump is aware of Arctic frost, and I think he's aware of it, and I think he's going to do something about it. He's got to fire Tony Blanche if he hasn't already. I mean, come on. Just seeing if there's anything new. Federal judge rules it's cruel and unusual punishment to deny pedophile of trans care. So the most of the judges in America are just awful. I mean, I'd hate to get sued or sue someone because you could get murdered and the judge will rule against you. There's just so many corrupt judges these days. They're literally taking the sides of pedophiles. So maybe someone should look at their history, who approved them to be judge. Charlie's Kirk widow demands cameras in court. Yeah, I'm sure. That's interesting though because they might not do the cameras thing because they don't want people to look in Tyler Robinson. I don't think Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk, so it's probably their best interest to not have his court case televised. 21 Democrats are refusing to turn over illegal immigrant SNAP data. Yeah, I saw the list. Mostly blue states. Shocker. But yeah, so there's 21 states that are refusing to turn over illegal immigrant SNAP data, which would immediately help the Doge and agriculture to get rid of the fraud. So now they're going to probably have to go deeper, and it's going to take longer because the Democrats can't cooperate properly. So that's great. So when you pay taxes this year, make sure, just remember, it's all going to illegal immigrants. Google caught hiding Elon Musk Wikipedia, promotes leftist Wikipedia. Yeah, they did that the day one. As soon as Grokpedia launched, Google wouldn't even show it, and it was the most popular website the whole day. It just showed up Wikipedia. So if you use Wikipedia, stop. Use Grokpedia. It's 100% more accurate and better. Trust me. New Pentagon rules will supercharge the exit of transgenders from the military. Yeah, that's been kind of a thing going on. Transgender is more of a mental illness than anything else. So, yeah, we don't want mentally ill people in our military. That's pretty common. Massive fraud uncovered in food stamp program. Yeah, we saw that yesterday, and it's only gonna increase. Abigail Spanberger's answer on job creation in Virginia was insane. Yeah, I've seen a lot of her clips. She literally cannot answer a question, and people are gonna vote for her. Like, it's insane. It's like Kamala. She's literally the same as Kamala. Elon Musk warns New Yorkers about charismatic swindler that is Mamdani. Yeah, he was telling people to vote Cuomo. So we'll see if that has any effect. Elon Musk does have a huge base. Trump says he won't let NVIDIA sell advanced chips to China, other countries. That's a big deal. Trump is very big on the whole chip market. He completely understands that's the future. AI is the future. Robotics are the future. So the U.S. needs to have full control over that industry, so China doesn't. yeah, so this is just, he's making moves on chips like this because a few decades from now, it's all that's going to be relied upon. So he's just getting ahead of the curve. OpenAI, Amazon Inc. $38 billion computing power deal. See, here we go. I literally just said this. AI is the future. Now AI is going to be running Amazon, the most popular store in the world. Um, yeah. So, and this is just the beginning. Almost every company is going to have AI running it soon. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just as long as the AI is good and not corrupt and it's not woke, it'll be actually okay. But it's just the beginning. And it starts with the chips. So, blah, blah, blah. Trump administration backs order to break up Delta Aero Mexico alliance over antitrust concerns. Yeah, so there's a whole dispute because Aeromexico wasn't abiding by some rules. And of course, people were saying it's racist. Trump can't do that to a Mexican airline. Well, when they violate rules, he can. Uh, yeah, that's about it. Again, the big story today is the elections in specifically New York, California, and New Jersey, Virginia too. But the main ones are the main cities, and the big one is obviously New York City. So hopefully Cuomo can somehow win, just so that New York is, you know, not in good hands, but it's not gonna collapse yet. But if Mamdani wins, then you're gonna see a mass exodus out of New York City, not from the migrants, from the tax-paying citizens. And if that happens, then New York would be just like California, and you have two of the major states completely overrun and forever. So let's not make that happen. But we'll see what happens with Mamdani, and we'll still see what happens with Venezuela. Trump keeps saying we're not going to do anything. We're going to do something. We're going to strike, and um, hopefully it all goes smoothly because we don't want no interactions with Venezuela. So we'll see. I'll probably do a whole separate video on the election because it's going to be the number one news story tomorrow. No matter who wins, Mamdani or Cuomo, that's all people are going to be talking about tomorrow. Um, yeah, so we'll see. So, see you guys next time.